Hello? Hello? Ah, the music was not there. It's there now. Boom! Aha. Hello. Good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Welcome to another stream of Plane Shift. Actually, 1101. Good number. Good number. The 101 of 1000. Juicy, juicy number. Hello, Hula. So today I want to work on improved crafting. We already had a number of ideas on how to fix it and improve it. I wanted those ideas to settle a bit more in my mind, just to be sure that, you know, just to be sure that it kind of makes sense, right? So basically what we said is that we would like to create a new UI, or to extend the current UI with a new panel, let's say, which is this one, which is the crafting panel. Oops, sorry, this one. The crafting panel. And we want to have a check button and a do it button. I think I cannot go without a check button. I think the check button is needed because I cannot really pre-calculate, you know, all the stuff here. Right? There is too much to calculate. If I have to calculate it all the time for each, is becoming really too much. So I think the problem I have is that at the moment we are sending only text, right? We are not really sending a structured set of information to the client. So I think at the moment we are sending only, let me open also Visual Studio. I think we are sending only text to that window. And probably that is not enough. Hello, Mauro. So we want to okay, so I need to check when we are receiving this crafting information. And I think we receive it in batches, one for each final item. Now I don't know if it's receive crafting or receive so we receive crafting node structures. Yeah, you see. Crafting node structure at the moment it only has the result item and the text. So it's very, very, very limited. So because I think we need to identify at least three things, right? The tool, the container, and the materials. So that needs to be available if we want to have this window working, right? So this means additional data, but actually I think the point is, can I go by ID or should I go by name? If I can go by ID, it would be much better. I mean, on the tool, for sure I can go by ID because I have the full item. On the container, yeah, I think I can go by ID as well because I will search an item in the surroundings, right? And for the materials, I can also go by ID. I don't know if I want to. We have different ways of doing this. We have different ways. So I can. We have different ways of doing this. So let's say that the server has the crafting tree, right? He has the crafting tree. And basically has everything, so he knows everything. So he has the transformation, he has the combinations, he has the quantities, he has the tools, the container, and everything, right? So the server knows everything. At the moment, what he's sending to the client is a crafting tree that actually contains, very simply, only the final item name and the description for crafting, right? So the crafting description, let's call it, right? So that is what he's sending to the client, right? So one way we could do it, we could actually extend here the this tree on the client to also contain, for example, the tool ID, right? The problem of sending it to the client is that anyway, let's assume that I have it, right? Let's assume that I have the tool ID and the container ID. I think it's basically useless because even if I have it on the client, I will then have to go back to my server to ask for do I really have it in my hands, right? I cannot really do the check on the client because the client can always be modified. So I think actually the only thing that I need is really the final item, right? Maybe I can have a final item ID so that we send to the client also the ID, and the ID is connected to the to this name, right? So that when you then click on check, at least, because check goes server side, right? At least we go with that ID. The only problem will be if you have multiple options. Yeah, that is a bit of the problem, right? That is a bit of the problem. Because if I have multiple options, so I can, for example, enchant with one glyph or another glyph. I don't know exactly what that check will do, right? If he will... So or I keep the transformation ID and the combination ID. Yep, I think it's probably the best. Because the combination ID knows anyway, right? Let me think about it. Huh? Let me think about it. 1 second, I have to open this and close this, and I think we are good. Okay. So if I keep this ID, right? If I keep this ID in my tree, right? So that I know, yeah, I think this thing knows everything because he knows the process. Yeah, the only thing is, do we know if it's I also need to know if it's a transformation or a combination. Yeah. And I think in the future it will become an array. I think we can start without the array, but actually I think it will become an array because you can have multiple transformation or combination. Well, multiple transformation. Combination I think is only one. Yeah, that is a good example, right? That is a good example. So these two are actually two different combinations that result in the same end item. So the wheel shield. So you can do it with a shield kit or you can do it with a shield weaker kit. Right? So that's an option. The majority only have one, obviously, but there are some that have two, so... So the combi, so let's say that I keep the ID and if it's a combination of a transformation, right? So there are two variables, one is an integer and one is a boolean. Right? So let's assume that I have here actually will be an array of, but I don't know if I want to call it process ID. No, I cannot call it. Or we call it combination trans ID, and then we have a flag, or we have two fields. One is combination ID and the other is, yeah, it's about the same. I think probably we should do it this way. We can have a comb ID and a trans ID, and obviously it's only one of the two is valid, right? So if one is 0, we check the other. Yeah, I think it's a better thing than having the boolean telling you what that field is. I think it's easy. I think it's, yeah. So if you have a combination ID and translation ID, when you click on check, right, I'm going to send this array back. In theory, would be the best would be that you could select one of these lines, right? That I could click on assemble or click on the other assemble. That is not very easy to do actually. Because it is only pure text at the moment. But anyway, we can create maybe two objects, you know, and we can allow selecting. And I assume that these are different combinations, right? Different combination ID. So we get that on the client. Then you click here because you want to do this. You click on check. That goes server side. And at that point, I have my combination ID. When I am on the combination ID, maybe let me just add something here. Problem is that we don't have yeah, the problem is that this information is not available. This information is not available at this stage. It's not. This information is not available. Item stats ID, T map of pattern ID description. T map of pattern ID. T map of pattern ID. T map. Pattern ID. The problem is where we get that information. Like, where do we get that data? At this level we have everything. We have the result ID, we have the pattern ID. And we have the description, but we don't have we don't have the tool or the container. We don't. We don't have the tool of the container, because the tool is actually associated to the process, right? And here I don't even have the process. Here I don't even have the process. Actually, I have it here. So in theory we have it inside trade processes, huh? Yes, it's this. Equipment ID, which by the way is spelled wrong, but equipment ID and work item ID are the two that we are searching for, right? We are searching for these two items. So it's process based. So it's process based. But I don't have the process ID, so I cannot really find it again, right? I'm thinking if I have only the process ID, will that be enough? No, because the process ID is just how I do it, but then I need the materials, right? And the materials are actually expressed in the transformation. So actually it's not enough, right? It's not enough to have the process ID. I mean, it's good, but it's not enough. I need the process ID. But how can he do this if... because he also has the transformation. Yeah, he has the transformation and the process ID. And he's taking data from both, right? For sure. For sure. So I need these two things pretty much recorded into our structure. I think the big issue is that certain tools there are certain tools you need to get in your hands, other tools you need to use from the ground, right? Like an anvil, for example. So let's assume for a second that I store in my let's assume for a second that I store here the combination ID, the trans ID, and the process ID. And the process ID, right? Then at that point I will be able to recreate. The only thing is that if in theory, if I have the transformation, right, the process I can derive. No, because I don't think it's possible. Well, it may be possible, yeah. It may be possible to create the same. No, it's not possible. The transformation is a unique ID. No, transformation is unique. The process is a sub-element of the transformation. So if you are in this transformation 9280, the process is 5957, whatever. There is no other way, right? There is no other way. You cannot change it. So I don't understand why I'm passing the processes here together with the transformation, considering the transformation already includes the process information. So that's a bit weird, huh? Because in theory I could say trans get process, right? No? The only annoyance is that the process ID is, yeah, it's just an ID, right? It's not. So if I want the real process, I have to go get trade process by ID. Yeah, but pretty much it's this. Yeah, but right, it's the same thing. So, but it's returning an array though. By process ID is returning an array. Is returning an array. And then I go for each of the array. That is confusing me a bit. It is confusing me. Why? Because this multiplicity, these are actually two different combinations, I'm pretty sure. Where the hell is this dishes with fishes? Ah, it's in my mind again. I didn't find. So you see that all of this is 1 1 1 1 1 1. I think the cases where you have two are very, very few. I mean, for what I see, you know, there are very few. There are very few items in this tree that actually have two descriptions. And I would even argue if the ones that have that have two descriptions are actually correct. Because the end, yeah. Like in this case, these items are alternatives, right? They are not all required, right? These are alternative items that are possible in this transformation. Yeah, the multiplicity is messing me up because I don't understand if I have here the transformation already. I mean, why I need to go by process ID? Because you see that here I say transformation get process ID, right? Then get process ID by ID, so I reach my trade, but this is an array, right? This is an array. I don't understand why this has to be an array. Why this has to be an array? Why this has to be an array of? So this is doing select star from trade processes, okay? Select star from trade processes. So is then going row by row based on the result, correct? And if the process ID is different than the last, where trade processes just a second. I don't have the database up. Okay. So how it is possible that I'm getting two trade processes? How it is possible that I'm getting two trade processes, considering the process ID is always different? I mean, this is the idea of the table, so it's impossible that that's an array. Why I have it as an array? Because I'm adding more maybe later on. So I don't see here happening that I have two, right? So I should never do add twice in theory. I'm pretty sure that this will all be array of one, but I don't know if we are populating them with more than one later on, which is a possibility. So we want to check if okay, we want to check this. So we want to see. Yeah, so I have my trade process by ash, right? Whatever. Right. I have my trade process by ash. Why only 13? Ah, wait. I already have one that is a double element. Process 0? Process 0. Key is 1. Process ID 1. Huh? I'm super confused. How is this? Value 2. It's two different sub processes. Process ID 1 and process ID 1. Nah, there is a bug. This looks like a bug to me. So work item 70, equipment ID 90, right? Work item 70, equipment ID 65. Interesting. Just a second, guys. I need to go to the bathroom and I will be back. me see. Strangely enough, when I go in Be Right Back, the number of viewers usually go up. That's kind of funny. So let's redo it. Let's redo it 1 second. Let's redo it 1 second because I don't understand what I'm looking at. Because here we are extracting from trade processes, right? Well, we should just be sure that we are on the right database, but actually we are not. It can be. Because you can have different quality equipment. I see. I see. Is it the same here or no? Are there any duplicate numbers in production? Doesn't look like. Maybe there's only one, you know. Maybe there is only one. I mean, if there is at least one, we anyway need to consider. We need to consider the array, right? But yeah, I think that it could be based on different equipments. It could really be. I basically don't see any, but it seems to be all different to me. But there are so many, right? There are thousands of these things, so I guess there is at least one that is duplicated. Doesn't look like in production, but fine. So the model allows multiple trade processes to take into account different qualities of the equipment ID. So basically of the item. Like here in this case, I have a 65 and a 90. I have a 65 and a 90, which corresponds to what? To a wooden spoon and a mixer. Yeah, but they are completely different. What's the point? Ah, yes, because you can mix with a spoon or you can mix with a mixer, right? And obviously you will get different results. Yeah, makes sense actually. So you can do the same thing with a more powerful tool. Yeah. Absolutely, yes. Yeah. So No. It uses an array. Use an array because you could perform the same process, example mix, with two different equipments, example spoon or mixer. Yeah. Okay, that's clear to me. That's kind of clear to me. Okay. So this is why he's using. Okay, so this is why we see, but this is not what we see here, right? There is another case. So this is not the case where you have two different equipments, I guess. No. There is two combinations with the same equipment but different materials, right? Same equipment but different, because the equipment is the riveter, but the yeah. So it's a bit of a mess. There is a bit of a mess because I think that here is not clear that you can do the same job with two different things, right? It's not really clear. So if that happens, do you think I will see two lines with two tools? That's possible. That is kind of possible. It is. So here we are in here we are in dummy DB. Here we are in dummy DB. So what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to understand what kind of information we need here to ensure that when we send it back for our check, you know, for our check button, we will know exactly what to do, right? Because for example, if we say, hey, it is using two different equipments, right? Is then the equipment that's a good point, right? Because here we have two different equipment to the same thing, which is process one. So the transformation doesn't know, right? Yeah, exactly. Transformation has no idea. This just allows you to use two different equipments. Yeah. What the fuck? What happened? The engine just went GG, I don't know. The engine just went crazy on memory. I don't know what happened. Yeah, but this crafting change, guys, is not simple, because the crafting is complex, is very complex in our game. You need to stay AFK more perhaps. Yeah, if I stay AFK, usually the viewers goes up. I don't know. And it looks like you forgot to post the usual post on stream on Discord. Ah, okay. I can post it. Let me see. What is it? Yeah. Here. I wanted to see. What? He's doing it twice? Hopefully not. Hey, right. It's cleaning up the array completely, so even if he does it twice, it doesn't do any damage. The only problem is that I have all the maps loaded in. Because I was doing changes. Right. So let's see from the database, what is this process? So this process is process 1, which is related to, there should be a pattern ID, right? I assume. No, it's from the transformation that is connected to this. So the transformation using process 1 is this guy, and the pattern ID is 1. So our design item is 71. Okay. So with the design item, we know exactly, okay, so it's this Garrett Way bread, whatever, right? So if I go in game, but this time we connect to, I cannot do it from here, shit. Okay, let's launch the debug client. That's okay, it's the same. Come on. I understand you are doing a lot of stuff, dear PC, but as guest gets guest. I don't care about this. Doot, 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 doot. I'm flying. Okay, so where is the mix? Mix. But you see that the mix is appearing only once, and he's using only the wooden spoon. So in reality, that the choice, you know, of the two processes is actually not of the the process with two possibilities is not shown here. Because in theory this mix you see there is process and sub-process. Process and sub-process. I mean, if we don't have any sub-processes in production, I think I can just... Yup. 0. There are 0 sub-processes in prod. So actually, there is a possibility and it's demonstrated in the dummy database, but is not used in production at the moment. So we don't have two processes that can result in the same. Still, I think is a bug because, I mean, it's a bug in the, it is a bug the fact that we don't see two lines here, right? I think it is a bug. We should see two lines if there are two sub-processes. And so let me understand. So how does that work? This is fine. This is fine. Yeah. I don't even list, right? I don't even list the transformation with sub processes at 1. I don't. Because in theory here I would get, you know, here I would get 2 lines, right? 2 lines. One for subprocess 0 and one for subprocess 1. And so or we consider the sub process here, but it seems that we are completely disregarding that. because here we just look at the main process and we add so the description will only be for one item. And yeah, and it's associated by result ID, so this is pretty bad. In theory I should do the same. If it's a process, okay, so if it's a process 1, I think I can do exactly the same. It's not working because then I'm returning this array of craft info here. Because the result ID will be the same, pattern ID will be the same, but the crafting info will have a different sub-step and a different equipment, right? So we will basically push this twice. But we will not append, if I understand right. No, I think we do append actually. I think we actually append. So, okay. So in theory, if I remove this check, it will do it for the two sub-process, for the process and the sub-process. And you will see the text for both. So you will see mix da 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 or mix da 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 with wooden bowl or with mixer or with whatever, right? So I think it may actually work. The problem is that then our structure will have two separate processes for two separate texts for the same result ID and same pattern ID. So yes, the text will be extended, so you will actually see two lines. But the biggest issue is not the two lines, the biggest issue is... Okay, I think I don't want to solve this because first of all, we don't use it in production. And so, and second, because it's too complex. So I think we will just put a note in here saying that we only consider the main process ID. Sub-processes may exist for different equipment items, but are not used in production data at the moment. So So there basically there is a UE to do, you know, add sub-processing descriptions if needed, right? But it has a big impact on other stuff. So at the moment we will live with the fact that there is only one item, right, that you can use for that. Which I think is fine. It's not optimal, but it's too complex, and I'm solving a problem that basically has no data in production for it. So we are solving something that is not moving us forward in any way, right? So I'm not gonna solve it. It's solvable, but we just take time for nothing. But this is not the example, right? This is not the example where you have two different combinations bringing to the same item, right? It doesn't. So the example that we saw in production is a different one. Which is kind of annoying though, because I wanted to know. I think this one is a test that I added just for yeah, but there are no cases of duplicate. There are no cases of duplicates, which is kind of annoying. What do you mean? No? These are all empty. These are all empty. Okay. No, because we can automate, right? We can automate, but if at the end we automate just a subset because the rest doesn't work, I don't think it's gonna help us too much, right? I mean, it's gonna help on some stuff, but anyway, let's go step by step. What I understood is that every line that we have here on the left, 3, can have multiple combinations or multiple transformations. Multiple combination is because you may have different type of items resulting in the same final item, and different transformation because you may have different equipments used, for example the spoon or the mixer, to create a final item, right? So we have these 4 possibilities, these 2 thingies, right? 2 by 2. So I think we need to take that into account somehow, otherwise we will miss here some of the possibilities. I think we will. But maybe we should go step by step and add that possibility later on, because in theory the idea is that yeah, the idea is to have an array, right? So that I can actually keep track of multiple. I think we should already design it as an array, but for now we always use the first element, right? So it's already designed to support the multiple cases, and we can extend it, right? So I think the idea is we have to do it when we are building the F crafting node, right? So these F crafting nodes needs to keep the holy shit, what is this? Wow, we wrote our own serialization function. Do you remember that? Fantastic. I didn't remember doing this, but I think the reason was that we couldn't create a recursive structure and serialize it, and so we created our own. Now the problem I have is, how the hell do I add I mean, do they have to be in a certain sequence? I don't remember when we did this. We did it a long time ago. But basically I need to add two more values to this. Right? I need to add my combination ID and my transformation ID. Which may be empty, by the way. We can set them as 0 by default, so that at least they always have a value, but actually they may actually be 0. I don't know if this is enough to actually have what we want, but it looks like. Because it's basically serializing the children count inside. Let me see if this get crafting node children is then. Should be in BPU deals. It's only doing this because I couldn't get it from the. Okay, fine. Oh, this is not an issue. It is okay. That is perfectly fine. Okay. Fine. So okay, so let's say that we added these two values, combination ID and transformation ID. Now we need to be sure that those two values in our F crafting node are populated, right? And unfortunately, we don't have that information there. We don't. So here we don't have. Here is where we create the array to send it to the client, which actually contains the content of the crafting book, right? And at this point in the code, we do not have those two values, the combination and the transformation. We don't. And all this, by the way, will have to be cached client side because it's a bunch of data, right? It's really a bunch of data. Every time you open a crafting book is going to push, you know, a lot of data client side. I mean, depends on the book, but I would say quite a bit. So now in crafting node, we have right? Exactly. So here we need to add our new variables. So the combination ID and the transformation ID, but we don't have it, right? This we don't have it. So we need to populate the this structure, which is our tree info, with that information, right? Because the tree info only has an array of crafting node. An array of crafting node is including the actual item, which is nice in terms of item stats, but it does not have the combination ID or the translation ID, and we need them. We cannot derive them in any possible way, right? So I need to have exactly the same here because there is a supporting structure, right? There is a supporting structure. And yeah. There's a supporting structure to create a tree view in the crafting book window. That's what it is, right? So now the question is, how do we populate in this crafting node? Because there is actually a preloading. Yeah, there is actually this preloading. That is where I was going before, right? Yeah. Yeah. There is actually this preloading. there is actually this crafting node children. Yeah, because we have children with result, but also the result item should be associated, no? Yeah, child node result item. So here is where we need to populate the combination ID or the transformation ID. And and I don't really know. And I don't really know if we have that. Because fuck, we don't have it here as well. We don't have it here as well. It's not here. 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 It's actually in this query. You see this result ID, item ID from trade transformation, trade combination. So these are actually the, we can add the transformation ID and combination ID, but oh my god, this is a union. Holy Jesus. It is kind of painful. Search all the final items of this pattern only on transformation, as we assume the final item needs to be crafted and just be assembled. Well, okay. So here we have the transformation ID, but actually I don't understand this too much because what? No, this is impossible. Wait a second, this is kind of impossible, meaning that because I populate the cache twice. So I populate it here with the result of this query. Cache result item, and then I populate it here again. Pattern desired item ID. No, what I'm absolutely confused on is that if it's true that we only select from trade transformation, right? How it is possible that then in my crafting node I also have the combinations? What? I mean, I understand we extract it here, but it seems that this is then used only to populate cache sourced items and is not. Probably because when he's doing the search, Yeah, he's using again cache result item, that's why. Yeah. This is how it works, huh? So I needed to modify also cache result items to actually have the yeah. Oh my god, this thing is so complex. So I think what I needed to extract from here the trade combination, the trade transformation ID, in addition to these two, right? The problem is this ever gonna work? Because there is a union, right? It's a union between two queries, and they have to be the same, right? And they have to be the same. So I have to do a pretty big trick, which I guess I can do. Wait a second. But then I don't understand. Yeah, we will have to redo it here, but it's okay. Okay, let me try. I think I have an idea. I have an idea on how to. I have an idea. Come on, give me a new script. I think we should do select result ID item different transformation present in book 1 and the pattern ID equal to, so for example pattern ID, let's use the dummy DB, and the pattern ID is 1 or group ID is 2, right? So we go 1 and 2. Yeah. So with pattern ID is 1 or pattern ID is 2, right? Union select result where pattern ID or pattern ID okay, right? So now this is identical to what we have there, right? So this should run and give us this result. Okay, fantastic. So now I want to add 2 new columns, right? One is, I really need to do this. I really need to be able to do select 0 as combination ID. Can I do that? I really need it. I really need it. Please. Nice. I can. Okay, if I can, then we are good, because I can say ed, right? ID as trans ID and 0 as comb ID, and then I can do the opposite, right? I can say 0 as trans ID and ID as comb ID. And so the union still works, right? You see? So we get the trans ID on the one that are actually translations, and the combo ID for the one that are actually combinations, right? So our union still works, right? Which is very nice. So, okay, so this I think we can do. So I need to add ID trans ID comb ID here, and I need to add 0 trans ID is combo ID here. Okay, so this query will do the same. Now I have also to add my trans ID here, I think, because this is the trade transformation that we use. And now why we don't use the group anymore here? It's kind of strange, huh? Should we include also the parent group? I think we should, yes. Don't understand why the parent group is not included. But anyway. So now that we have that, we can extract this information and associate it to our crafting node. Main. So we will have a combination ID which is equal to this, and we will have our transformation ID which is equal to this, and one can be 0, I mean one will be 0, right? And so here at least we have it in our crafting node structure, but then we recurse, right? Then we recurse. Then we do the recursive freaking search, and fuck. We don't have it, and we don't have it in the cached item, so we don't have it in the cached. Because the cached result item is very simple. Is result ID and item ID. And it's just a multi-map. Ah, crap. So basically now for all the transformation it will work, but for all the combination it will not. This thing is a bit stupid though. I don't understand why we did it this way. So like we are... So the first crafting node is kind of clean. By the second, when I'm trying to go in and understand the children, I actually do a multi-find on these cache result items, right? That I'm passing here, and I have no way of knowing what is the combination or the transformation that resulted into that item. I have no way. unless I load it, you know, before or in the structure again. So or this integer becomes a struct again, and the struct needs to contain the source item, or oh my god, my brain is exploding. Or we do it with another supporting structure, right? So we can say cache result items and cache result item transforms, something like that. And we create a small structure there, which is the combo ID and the trans ID, and is ordered by result ID as well, so that I can extract it here and then associate it to wait. So let's assume that we do that, right? So we have a structure with combo ID, trans ID by result ID, which is similar to cache result item, and I can query, right? Let's assume that I have it. If I have that, then in this for, what the hell I'm gonna do? Because in this for is finding for every subcomponent, for every subcomponent, and no, I need it by okay, I see. Yeah, I really need it by int ID. Yeah, so this needs to become a structure. Because every subcomponent has its own combination of transformation ID. And I have to, because this guy is doing results, blah, blah, blah. And then he's taking one result and he's finding, you know, the item stats and everything, which is fine. And then it's checking if he already has been found. If he already has been found, what? Okay, you cannot have the children twice. You cannot have the same children twice. I mean, I really hope that the visited node is local to the branch, right? I mean, I'm sure it is. If it's not, it's a super mess. Wait a second. The visited node needs to be... No, this is a mistake, I think. Ah, no, because it can be part... Yeah. Well, okay. Oh my god. Fine. Okay. Let's leave the visited node as it is, because... fine. But... basically, our cache result item needs to change completely. It's not anymore this. Oh my god. where I am even using the source items. Yeah. But I'm never, okay. But I'm never using the source, yeah, I'm never using the source items to actually get the data into the tree, right? I'm always doing it with the result items. Okay, so I don't need a source item map to actually contain my combo ID and trans ID, but I need the result items to do it. Okay, okay. So we need a cache thingy that is temporary. It's completely temporary, but we may declare it here somewhere, right? So we need a struct, we need a simple struct. So we need a very simple struct that we will call cache result item. Cache result. We will call cache result item extra info. Okay. And this one will contain the combination ID and the transformation ID, right? And obviously the the combination ID, the transformation ID, and whatever we put in today, which is what source item and the item ID. Okay. So now our multi-map will become this. Right? Now our multi-map will include this thing. And then here we will create our struct, right? And right? Fuck. I did it wrong. Okay, fine. Okay. So now we can create it with item ID, comb ID, trans ID, item ID, item ID, combo ID, trans ID. And so now this guy contains wait, what did I do here? Okay. And so now this, yeah, and we set the extra info here. Interesting stuff. Okay. So now in theory should work as before, just with the extra info. So whenever then we are extracting these cache items and we are extracting, or here we are just passing it through, it's fine. We just need to change the recursive whatever to use, you know, our new T map, which is now is pointing to something different, but that's fine. Right, so now our T map will look like that. I mean, hopefully I'm not doing too many damages to the downstream code, but it should be fine. And so now this will compile, this is okay. And now when we get our okay, the multi-find is fine. But right, but it will be an array of this, right? And so when we do this, it will be that, and will be this, and this is item ID. Okay, so with this change everything is as before, but now we have the extra info available, right? So everything should run exactly as before, but here now we have in extra info not only the item ID, but also the combo and the trans, right? So when we create the child node, yeah, so when we create a child node here, if not found child, if not found child, children item ID, wait a second, why I do the addition anyway? I do the addition also if the child is not found, is found already. It's kind of weird. Okay, so I just don't navigate in. Okay. Yeah. Come on. No. Okay. So here we just set this, and now we use the extra info, right? Because that is where we need our extra info combination ID and our extra info transformation ID, right? So now all my child node should have that information stored and available for me to use later on. And later on means later on means here actually. No? Yeah. I don't understand why I did this. It's so hard to read. This node children of I is a crafting node, right? Why we don't just say crafting node, whatever? Because I didn't want to extract it. What? I don't understand. I don't know, it's so confusing without the... So now we can do this that before we couldn't, right? Now the only problem is that I don't think that this is the only place, because we also have the father call. Exactly. Okay. Okay. So now we should have all the information about the combination ID and the transformation ID inside the temporary crafting structure and inside the structure that is serialized and sent client side when we visualize the crafting book. I don't know if this is true, but we can test it, right? So now when I'm sending this, right, I'm doing receive crafting book content 3, right? I will have 3 nodes that are actually designed as declared as F crafting nodes that now also have the combination ID and the transformation ID serialized. So I'm expecting to get this information client side. And right? And so basically now, if that works, we have this. We have this. I didn't do it as an array. Oh my god, Jesus. I didn't do it as an array. Oh fuck. Ay, 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 ay. Yeah, I didn't. We said that we wanted to have it as an array to ensure that this was already compatible with the future. So in theory, you know, this should become an array of this. The only problem is that I don't know how the hell I then serialize an array inside of this thing. But okay, let's ignore it for a second. Let's just send it normal and then we can expand it to an... No, because if it must be an array, right? But why I didn't catch this problem of the array while I was extracting the data? Because it cannot be an array here. I don't know, it's too complex. I cannot fit it in my brain. I cannot fit in my brain the array that is related to the 3info because it's too many iterations down the line, so I cannot visualize it. But yeah, what I understand is that we may need an array instead of just the two, but only for future expansions or for well, actually, because this text, right, this text will include two... Yeah, exactly. That is the problem. That this text may include 2 lines, right? This may include 2 lines. And these 2 lines... Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Oh my god. Wait a second, maybe my brain is fitting it now. So yeah, this description can be multiple lines, meaning 2 different processes associated to the same result item. And in my crafting node temporary structure, I'm not at the moment storing the transformation ID and combination ID for each line. I'm not. So I mean, here we decided not to go multiple, and so we will not get multiple, but I think I need to understand where we get the multiple, right? Which was the reasoning I was doing at the beginning of the stream. Because at the moment, the sub-process 1, we don't even parse it, right? We don't, we just skip it. So we don't get it from there. We may get it from multiple combinations. Okay, for now let's go with one. For now let's go with one and see what happens, because it's becoming too complex. So okay, so where are we at the moment? We have the extra info, and the extra info is available. So let me print out in that window the combo ID and the trans ID, okay, so that we can, because this is the information that we have to send back to the server when we want to do the check, right? So we want to know if we can actually do the transformation. Exactly. I think we are on the right. I think we are on the right path, but I think that we are, unfortunately, with this system, we are not supporting every possible crafting, transformation, and combination. I think we are supporting the majority of them. But not all of them. Yeah. Why you guys all voted on crafting? Holy hell. Why? I mean, it's okay. It's just that it's a tough one, you know, because it's very complex. So, okay, so in the crafting window, right, when we receive, I don't know if we have it in the crafting node. No, we are in the crafting window on the right side. Well, actually yes, because yes, this node, right, that we see here now has additional data. You see, combination ID and transformation ID. Fantastic. Fantastic. So just for fun, I mean, just for debug, I will let me see, set up one node, rec, blah blah blah, crafting node, set name, set crafting text, set name, set crafting text. To understand why we just don't set the node as a variable and then, right? Why we set crafting text, set name, set crafting text, result item in text. Yeah. And then what happens when we click on it? When we click on it, we set the description equal to the description. Crafting text, yeah. Okay, we need to change a bunch of this stuff, but it's good. Okay. Description, get item clicked, description, item click, description, crafting 3. Item clicked, item clicked. Okay, we need to change this to be a crafting node, right? It is gonna break a lot of stuff, but we have to go through that anyway. So we need to set the I want to remove these two variables actually, so that we just use the crafting node structure, which contains everything, and okay. Cannot be description. Where? Hmm. Wait. Why is saying? Why? Wait a second. Because it's named description here. No, it should be named crafting node or whatever. So exactly. Exactly. So now I think we can have a setup function, right? I think we can have a setup crafting panel or something like that, because we will have to create another panel below, right? So for now, yeah. So we will have a panel that it will probably be a window, or it will be. Oh no, I think it's okay. It can be a component of this window. I think it's okay. It can be just a part of this window. So we can have a setup crafting panel thingy. Can be a function. It's fine with me. Can be setup crafting panel, which is the one that is right. And this one will use at the moment only a crafting node as an input, and we may use more in the future. But let's say crafting node, right? Crafting node. Okay. Okay. So this thing for now. can just print out those two values that we have. I think it's okay. So I will print comb ID. We'll print comb ID and we'll print trans ID. Okay. At the moment, it's just a printout to verify that the data is going through, but then this will become a full panel with a UI and everything, right? So we have a setup crafting panel, which is nice. So as soon as you have your item clicked, right? I just don't want to set, I mean, setting this is okay, but I also want to call my setup crafting panel, right? Passing in the crafting node that we have, right? Very good. Now the problem is that this needs to be done also in the case of children here. I have no idea why it's called description. It's impossible it's called description. But anyway. I don't know why it still has description, but it's obviously wrong. Is obviously okay, making good progress. So we go into our item clicked, and then I think it will work for children and father. The only problem is this setup crafting panel. Should I have it also here? No, because it's going inside item clicked inside crafting window, so it's okay. Unfortunately, they are called the same, which is super weird. But anyway, it's kind of confusing, but it's fine. Cannot find, yeah, you cannot find it because actually you fucked it up, my friend. It's called crafting node. For sure you cannot find it. Okay, nice. Nice and nice. Okay. So all this mess that we did, we did it because we wanted to see. We did it because we wanted to populate the combo ID and the trans ID in the crafting tree on the client, so that whenever you click on one and then you want to prepare a crafting combination or transformation, we can send back the combo or the trans to the server, and the server can actually do the job to help you do that, right? Oh my god. Yeah. Oh my god, I need 1 week of holidays after this. Okay. Fine. We're pushing through. We are pushing through. Ay. Something went bad, boys. So our logic is fucked. Our logic is fucked. Sides 0? What do you mean? I didn't change anything. What? Database is up. What do you mean size 0? If size 0, then don't even iterate. What do you mean? Huh? You're stupid or what? Bro, size 0. What did I do? What did I do? I changed this result. I don't think I did change the result. Huh? What is going on, boys? Something fucked up, but I don't understand why. I did not change this part, right? Wait, I have the editor open. It's compiling. Wait. It's compiling shitty hot preload. WinHelp node. No, I didn't change any of that. Let me launch it without the editor open because I think that the recompile messed up few things. Hopefully this will work. I mean, if the result is 0, this query should always return result, so results should always be valid. And even if he has 0 nodes, is okay. I mean, it's okay. I mean, it's a bit strange that it's 0, but... Why we do this twice? I don't understand. Preload, trade pro... Why we do this twice? Wait a second. Preload. We are coming... We are getting there twice. No? Why we get there twice? In theory, no. But I don't know. I was pressing F5 and I was seeing again the same thingy. So wondering what is going on. What the hell is going on? Oh yes, it's called twice. Preload all. Wait a second. Preload all. Let me save this thing. Let me save this thing right now. So there is the pattern, right? Preload all 229. Preload trade process 1. Blah, 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 blah. Then I do F5 and I go here again. It's exactly the same. I don't know. 1859. What the fuck? Yeah, but is the return true? I mean, we are not calling this twice. Bah. It's going through the same line, 229. I think it's just Visual Studio being stupid. I mean, it's impossible to call it twice. Okay, anyway. Let me see what happens to this query, right? So we have a result with 0 sides. Okay, we're actually crashing. We are actually crashing. Before we were not crashing. So the only thing that I changed I added this, right? I added ID as trans ID. Ah, yes, because it's saying that ID is ambiguous. tt.id. Yeah. He's right. He's absolutely right. As usual. As usual. Boys, I see you are a bit quiet today, eh? What is going on? You're already thinking to Christmas? You're already opening gifts or what? I see you a bit... I mean, too quiet. Come on. Tell me what you're doing. Tell me what you think. Tell me something. It's 8:14. I need to start to think of my dinner, huh? I need to start to think to my dinner, boys. Because I started to stream very late today. Yeah, I started to stream very late. I know. Okay, now in theory should not crash anymore, right? Yes, exactly. Now it's proceeding properly. Okay, so what we want to see, on the client the combination ID and transaction ID, right? These are two things we want to see. Let me check while it's loading. Let me check my dinner a second and see if this thing is well. Still kind of tough, huh? It's still kind of. Let's do it 10 minutes. Let's do it 10 minutes to thaw the meat, because the meat came out of the freezer today and it's still a bit frozen. It's kind of frozen. I don't know how much additional data we are sending, but it's basically 2 integers, so it should be pretty much nothing, right? So okay, when I click here, fantastic. Maybe you didn't see it, but it's saying trans ID 11. It's saying trans ID 11. So actually we have the data. Trans ID is 7. Wait a second. Why is 11 here and is 11 here as well? It's impossible. What? What? Ah, here we have the double. Ah, it is the thingy. Okay, this is a good example because it is the double thingy. Trans ID 5, right? Trans ID 5 is what? I mean, reading it here is a bit of a mess, but... Trans ID 5. Result item 69. Butter. Trans ID 5. Oh my god, they are all wrong by 1. No. Oh my god. Why? They are all wrong. So basically, everyone is listing the parent. Everyone is listing the parent instead of listing himself. How the hell is it possible? Okay, let me see if we have at least one that is correct. Like this guy. This guy says 11. Nutty whey bread. This guy says 11. 11. 11. Wait a second. This is the transformation ID. 11. Transformation ID. Result ID 81. Nutty whey bread. Okay, so this guy is correct. The children are wrong. Scaled by 1, by the way. So it means that this is correct here, but it's wrong in the recursive, right? In the recursion. So when I go into the recursion, I'm doing a mistake somehow. Probably because I read it by result ID or what? Result ID. Yeah, this is the extra info of my... Wait. I think I'm reading the parent instead of reading the child. Pretty much. So this extra info is coming from the... No, I don't understand. This is the resulting item. So this is the resulting item of this node. The resulting item of this node. The resulting item of this node must be this one, huh? The resulting item... Children node, children. Extra info, because here I'm still at this level, so it seems to be it seems to be correct to me. How it can be swapped by one? I don't know, I'm super confused. Okay, let me try to debug it and see what happens. We're not going through that. We are not going through that. We're only going through this. Node pattern ID. This is the father node, right? This is the father node. Then I go for each children, and I get the current node, which is the children. And in the children node, I set the combination ID equal to, yeah, exactly. Seems to be okay to me. I don't understand why it's not. Why it's not? Why? Why? So top node children, right? And this node has transformation ID 11. Okay, then I go inside of this with my node being the current node. Okay, my oven. Not now. Not now. I go inside this, right? And basically for every children, because this node has children, yeah, in this case he has one child, which is Nutty Dog, yes. But this one is wrong. This one is wrong. It means it's loaded wrong. Because this one says transformation ID 11, which is impossible. So it means that already my crafting node, already my crafting node has been loaded wrong. It's not that I'm reading it wrong, it's that I'm loading it wrong. I'm loading it wrong. Okay. So it means that it must be here. Yep, it must be. The mistake must be here somewhere, but I think it's here. Is in this part, because I'm loading it wrong. I'm loading it wrong. It cannot be 11. Hello, Knuckle J. Hey. It cannot be 11. They are all swapped by one. So like if they are reading the parent, combo and trans instead of reading themselves, right? Their own thing. So the mistake must be inside of this function. But So in this basically in this multi-find, or because this multi-find is going in cache result items. Exactly. So I think that here I have my 11 most likely. Result, well, it's not very easy to read it like this, but anyway. Result ID is 81, which was the top of the structure, right? 81 was the top of the structure. So the top of the structure, so we enter with the top of the structure and we read the cache result items. They may result in an 81. Holy moly, we get, no. We get only one item. We get only one item. Item ID 135. Wait. Wait a second. Item ID. $135. I think we didn't. Ah, yes, 135. No, 135 is correct. 135 is actually correct. But transformation ID 11 is wrong. So it means that is even before this. Yeah, is even before this. Is when we load the cache. Is when we load the cache, boys. Is when we load the cache. Is when we load the cache. So the problem is probably here. Ah, wait. Yeah. One is result ID and the other is item ID. So yes, it is wrong. But wait a second. No, but it was like this already, no? Cache manager? What? Wait a second. I changed that, yes. And I changed this, yes. So there was, so this one was add result ID, item ID, right? So the only thing that I did, I added the extra info, which actually is with item ID. Yeah, so this item ID is correct. The problem is that the combo ID and the trans ID. Okay, I think I understand. So this one is correct. But the combo ID and the trans ID are the one of the father. Oh my god. Because this query is actually extracting the one of the father, not the one of the child. So, oh my Jesus. Yep, exactly. Oh my Jesus. So how do we, oh my. Oh my. Yes, because this query is extracting the result ID, transformation ID and combo ID. It's not extracting the item ID. Oh fuck. Well, I can wait, huh? Wait a second. So this is order by result. This is ordered by result item. This is ordered by result item, but here I'm putting the item ID, which is basically the source item, right? And then I have my combo ID and my transform ID, which are related to the result item, not to this. So when I do the search, right? When I do the search to associate, so the multi-find, I think the multi-find is okay, but no, it is a mistake. So you mean that they are all the same? In case I have a combination, this will be all the same. And based on this, yes, I think they will. I think the info that I'm pushing through is actually all the same for the source items. And it's actually wrong. And so when I reach the bottom, of the tree, so the leaf, and I have no children, I don't have that information unless... Nah, this is broken, boys. It's broken. It's broken. It's broken. It's broken. It's broken. Oh my god. It's broken. Is broken. So basically this is my source item ID, right? There is my source item ID. Of this source item ID, but I don't think I can go and query now, because I could do another select, right? I could do another select, but I don't think that that will fix my problem. But then how is it possible that the leaf... How it is possible that the leaf of the tree actually has the proper description then? I think because the descriptions are coming from... yeah. Because the descriptions are generated in another place. So this place is... This part of the code is only creating the structure that you see in the tree, right? But this part of the code doesn't really create the description for each of the nodes, and so it doesn't have that. And so it doesn't have that information. I mean, he has it, but he has it only for the father. So the father, he knows because it's actually correct for the father, right? It is correct for the father. And so like here we see 11, right? And here we see 11 again. And here we see 5 and whatever. But in reality, they are all, you know, swapped by one number. The point is that if I all move them up one number, this one will be empty, right? And the reason that one is empty is because here we are not really analyzing the single node, but we are analyzing the father compared to his children. But what I'm a bit surprised is, if this is true, then why... Because the last one... Is the last one always a transformation? But anyway, the cache is wrong. Because when I arrive here, my cache is already wrong. Like now, I am here, and my cache is saying that item 135 as transformation ID 7. What? 135? Yeah, you can see it very well from here, right? So 81 is the top of our structure and has transformation ID 11. Even if this 11 is actually listed in his child's, right? So the problem I have is when you reach the bottom, then what happens? If you have no children, how does that even work? So what is the last item of the structure? Okay, let's go through it 1 second because I want to understand, right? So when we load because here we did it already. No, I would like to redo it. 1 second. I would like to redo it. I would like to redo it to understand when we reach the bottom, right? How can we have the proper value for the bottom? Because if we have at least if we have a fictional value, I can still take it can still work, right? I can just do another search. I can do another multi-find, you know, and instead of using my result ID, I can use the child ID. I can use what? I can use the child. Wait a second. So this is my result ID. Okay. Then this multi-find works on the result ID. Okay, and it gives me the result ID plus the source item. And the source item is in here. But as we have seen, the source item is carrying the father transformation ID. So actually, yeah, exactly. So actually this is not correct because this result ID is the child. Is the child. And the transformation ID is the one of the father. And the transformation ID what is doing is like running or no? What the fuck is the code doing? What is Visual Studio doing now? Just going crazy? So yes, we load the cache wrong, pretty much. In this preload crafting tree, we load the cache wrong. Because this extra info is actually related not to the result ID, but not to... This extra info is... Yeah, this combination ID and trans ID is related to this result ID. And not to the child and not to the source item. So I did it wrong, basically. But I mean, we can still do it differently. I mean, we can even do it the same as long as I know that. But I don't know what happens to the leaf of the tree. I don't understand, because when I reach the leaf, then how does it work, right? So here I am with my item. And I'm creating the cache. And I'm creating the cache. This thing is a mess, boys. This thing is a mess. Ah, this thing is a mess, I tell you. Anyway. Also because we do it in multiple passes, and the multiple passes are throwing me off even more. Let me just check 1 second my dinner, otherwise it's going to, everything is shifting forward too much. Let me check 1 second. Let me check, is this thing cookable or not? Is this thing cookable or not? Oh my god, it's still like strong as a rock. Holy moly. Okay, do another 10 minutes. I mean, just the inside of it, but let's do another 10 minutes of thingies. Strong as a rock. Really? It is some meat that I took out of the freezer, but it doesn't want to get thawed, you know. So okay, so the point is that I fill my cache. Okay, fine, and then here I do the search for the skip non-final items. Yeah, because we don't want to put at the top of the list. Okay, that's fine. Okay, that's fine. So we reach this, right? We reach this, and here is our top node, right? Which is 81. So the top node has ID 81 and is our way bread. Okay, now we go inside of this and we find, please, we go inside of this and we search the cache result item for 81, and we already know, right, that 11 will be wrong in here. Okay, fine. I mean, okay, I just want to understand what happens next. So I go to the child, I find all of his child, and I recurse down, right? I recurse down. So at the moment, I'm saying that I'm still on 81. Wait, child item. Exactly. Child. So yeah. So I go on ID 135, right? In 135, at this point, I don't have any information about it. I just have the ID, right? Yes, I just have the ID. I have the ID, and also I don't have any information on his transformation or anything. Okay, I understand that. So I go one down, and I get... and I get 66. By the way, and I get 66, which is butter. I don't know what was 135. It's fine. We will discover it one day. Well, in theory, I can go to the previous call and see. There is dog. Dog. I don't know how you pronounce that. So we are here. We recurse again. We recurse again, right? And we go down one more, and one more is 77 slop, right? ID 77 slop. Now this one I think was the end of our thingy. Yeah, because here we are still on the cycle on 66. So the multi-find is always working, right? But if I do 77, wait a second, 77, 77, do I have it in my list? Yes, I have it with, oh my god, I have it with 5 different combination ID. 4 different combination ID. No, I don't have it. I don't have it actually. '77 transformation ID 2. No, but it is fucked up, boys. It's fucked up. It is completely fucked up. It is completely fucked up. It is really, 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 really wrong. Okay. Let me check one thing. Transformation, right? So we want to transform into 81. So if we transform into 81, our ID is 11. So the trans ID is 11, okay? If you want to transform in 135, in theory I should not even find it here. Why I find it here? Because 135 should be a combination, no? It is not normal. No, 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 no. There is a missing step or what? It's impossible. 135. Well, maybe there is no combination in between. Yeah, that's possible. Okay, that's possible. But then there is no combination in this sequence. Oh my god. Maybe slop or because 77. Okay, 77. You see the 77 is missing. So 77. Okay. So let's go one by one. 135 is actually trans ID 7. Butter, which is 66, actually has trans ID 2. So these are all transformations, right? You are not combining things. You are actually working on stuff. But you see that actually slop is a combination. So it's not listed here. And is listed in the combination table, I assume, right? So trade combination, so 77. Exactly. Exactly. 77, exactly. So, it is the mistake though. This is the mistake. The mistake is that my theory works for transformations, but it doesn't work for combinations. Because when I said that we are going to put a combination ID here to know what I need to do, it's completely wrong. Because while transformations are unique for an item, combinations are not. And this is a good example, right? I have 4 combinations for this result item, because you're putting together all this source item and creating your final thing, right? So fuck. So I can solve it for the transformations, but I cannot solve it for the combinations. Ah, that's very bad. Wow, 10 minutes went through already. Wow, time is flying when you make a mess of stuff. Let's see if now it's cookable. You're cookable. So I think I need to rethink all that theory, boys. I think I need to rethink it because it doesn't work. It does not. It does not work that way. It doesn't. It does not work that way. And 1 second, I'm preparing dinner and I come in 2 minutes. 2 minutes! Doesn't work that way. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. It doesn't. It doesn't. It doesn't. We don't have a unique. We don't have a unique identifier for combinations that we can carry from the. So annoying. That is so annoying. That is so annoying. So how do we do that? How do we cannot do it? Maybe we cannot do it. Maybe we cannot. Yeah. I think this was unfortunately a failed attempt. This was a failed attempt. This was a failed attempt, boys. Yeah. Think about it. I need a timer, 12 minutes. I need a timer, 12 minutes. Timer 12 minuti.
Ho avviato il timer di 12 minuti.
So, fuck, there is a problem. This is a problem because the transformation, we identified it perfectly, right? But the combination, no. And you know what is the problem? The problem is that if I don't send all the combination ID that are actually part of the combination, like if I send only 4, right, and I say, oh, let's use 4 I mean, I could send only the first one, and then server side we are looking at the full set. Yeah, I think we need to treat combinations and transformations separately because they are very different. They are very different. They are very different. But, you know, I mean, it's not that hard at the end. I mean, in my structure, right, the new one that we created that is called crafting whatever, eh? I mean, this crafting node, right, yeah, in this crafting node at the moment I'm having a transformation ID and a combination ID. I mean, I can change this to an array of integers and I can list all the combinations that are actually part, you know, of that particular. Yeah, that is probably the way to do it. So that at least so that the combination has all the numbers. Because if I don't have all the numbers, I will never know what the player is actually trying to do. Because you may reach the same result item with different combinations. Yeah. Yeah. So this change we can do. We can change this to be an array of blah, blah, blah. But still we have the problem, right? The problem is that when we are scanning our structure, we don't get the proper ID. So I would say I'm fine here to have, you know, I'm fine to have an array, right? I'm fine to have an array of combination ID, which in this case will be 4, 5, 6, and 7, right? These are the 4 items that you need. 4, 5, 6, and 7. I think it's fine. I think it's fine. The problem I have is that after and actually we have it in the cache result items, right? We do, because if you look, we have 4, 5, this one, 4, 5, 6, and 7. They are all constructing the item 77. So we do have that. We do have that. So if while I'm here, where my result item is the slop, my result item is the slop. My result item is the slop, yeah. My result, I mean, but here I'm navigating the child, right? So why the hell I'm getting the result ID cache results and I'm not getting the child? Ah, wait a second. I think I understand. Wait a second. Wait a second. I had a sparkle of understanding, but now it's gone. No, I mean, I think I should just, you know, set it on my... but I don't, because here I'm adding the child node. Because here I'm adding the child node, right? The father node is already done. The father node is already done. Well, I can do another multi-find. I mean, I don't care. I mean, if he's in the data, I don't care. I can do. So this multi-find is returning me the result for the father. For the father node, right? And it is the way I find my child, right? Which is this, right? So this is basically find child item, right? Find child item. He's finding the child item. Okay, he's checking if it's already been found. If it's not been found, right, he's adding it to the found ones. Right? And then he's setting the, and then this child node, yeah, which is the child actually, yes, is there is the part that is wrong. There is the part that is wrong. There is the part that is wrong. Because here we are setting on the child some information that actually belongs to the father. This is the part that is wrong. So in theory here I should do, you know, I should do get the child extra info. I should do another multi-find. I know it sounds a bit weird, but it's the only way. I do another multi-find, but this time instead of using result ID, I use child item ID. Right? I use child item ID. And now this multi-find will get my so in reality this is the result father, let's say. Right? I think result is such a stupid name. Can we call it result extra info? Result extra info. Yeah, result extra info, okay? Result extra info. Then for each result ID extra info, we can call it. Right? This is the result ID extra info. Let's call it result ID extra info, which is even more clear, right? Result. So there is the extra info associated to the result ID. Result ID extra info. So I get the result ID extra info. I can get multiple items. Yes, I can. For each of the resulting items, which are basically the child, right, of that guy, I get so this is actually the extra info of the child, right? There is the extra info. So in this case, right, I'm scanning, let's say 135. And I get this. Now, this is basically impossible. There is multiple. Oh, well, there is a 76, for example. 76 and 77. Yeah. In case of combinations, you get multiple. But this one, I think, will never be selected. In case of combinations, you get multiple. And we see if you already been found, actually, we skip it. If you already been found, right? If you already been found, we just skip it. I still don't understand why we add it to the to the children nodes if you already been found. That I don't understand. I think this line should be inside not found, but it's working at the moment, so. I think this line should be inside and not found. But anyway, that I will change it later. Oh, fuck. 1 sec. 1 second. We have to do the second step of the dinner. Second step of the dinner is to put this in. Put it in. Okay. Second step accomplished. Now, third step. Okay. So when we this freaking dinner is distracting me. So anyway, we get the extra info of this result ID. So basically everything here there is result. I don't know. Is there any other result? No, seems not. Okay, there's no more result. Okay, good. So now here we do a result child. Result child extra info. Right? And this will be the extra info associated to the child ID item. Now, here we can really get multiple results like we see, because like in case of the combination ID, right? So how do we even read that? I mean, or we scan it, because you see that here we have item 66, item 67, 60, so we have 77, right? We have 77. I think I need to do it differently, because I don't want to have 77, 60, and then my combination here, right? I think I want to have 77, 60. Well, I think it's the same, yeah. I think it's not too bad. Because even if I put the combination outside of this array, the result will be the same. So it will be 4 lines anyway, no? Or, yeah, it must be 4 lines because I have 4 source items. Unless I make these source items also an array, I will have anyway these combinations are separate, because here we are, yeah, it's okay. So the crafting node may have it as an array, while the transformation combination may have it as a separate lines. I think it's okay, because this is cached by pattern, okay, by transformation combination. Okay, so what I need to do, so I do my multi-find, right, on the child, and then I say, here I need to split, right, because if it's a transformation, if it's a transformation, it's super easy, because, yeah, but remember that this is a for loop, huh? There is a for loop with at least one item, right? It is, because it may be multiple. So we scan all the elements. We assume there is at least one. Now, if there is 0, well, if there is 0, it's really a problem. If there is 0, I don't know what to do, because at that point I will not have the combination information. So it will stay at 0, so we are like done. But if there is at least one element, right? If there is at least one element, which is basically this, we can check if it's a transformation. If it's a transformation, we just set it and GG, right? So if this dot transformation ID is basically different than 0, we know that we are in a transformation, right? And so the only thing we want to do, child node blah blah blah, right? Where transformation where extra info child transformation ID, right? If it's different than 0, if it's equal to 0, which is a combination, then we need to create an array of thingies, right? Well, for now, okay, yeah, let's create. So we can also pass a single one for now, just to to keep it sane. But in theory, we should do our comb ID add whatever, right, of the child node combination ID. What? Of the extra info combination ID, right? And then at the end of the for loop, we add this combination ID to this, right? And yeah, and this unfortunately needs to become an array. This needs to become an array, so it means that... Yeah, it's fine. Let's do it. Let's do it. Anyway, there is no other way out. There is no other way out. Is the only way. I mean, another way would be to assign a node. Another way would be to assign a node ID. Wait a second, because I think I had an idea. If we keep this structure on the book, only server side, and then we assign a node ID and fuck it, and we don't go crazy. So basically what I'm saying, instead of passing, because now basically here what I'm doing, I'm having an array of int, which is actually comb ID, and I'm having my trans ID, okay? And this thing, I'm passing it from the server to the client, and then I'm passing it back to know what I need to prepare, right? But what I'm thinking, no, it's not possible, because if we have multiple lines, the player may select the second line, and it is a different set of array ID and combo ID. So no, I have to do it the way I'm doing it, I think. It's a pity because we have to send we have to send to the client a bunch of stuff, but I think I will cache it in the future. I think I will cache it in the future. So this way, we add, and then we set, right? And here we add, yeah, and here we just set. Okay. Should I really do this if, or I can just set and GG? Because anyway it will be 0, you know? I think that is a bit of a stupid, but anyway, it's more clear. So basically this will happen only once, and this will happen multiple times, right? And here we set the result. So then the problem, so okay, so now I think that now we will get the proper IDs. I think now we will get the proper IDs. The problem now is that the other function that is then populating exactly this one now doesn't work anymore, because the last one is never a combination, so this one can be 0. It's kind of an assumption. I don't know if it's true, but I don't know if it's true in all the crafting of all possible books and everything. But I think that the top node is never a combination. Is that true? No, because if it was a combination, right, we should have done what? We should have done the same thing. We should have done what? We should have done... No, here we are cycling on transformation, so it is for sure 0. Yeah, exactly. Here we are cycling only on transformation, so Yeah, exactly. So this is fine. Now the problem is that the next step with the F crafting node, because the crafting node now is fine, but the F crafting node now is fucked because it's declared wrong, right? So now this is not anymore. So there is a TRA of int that becomes this, right? And this I hope that this works as expected, but I think it will. I'm positive it will. So if that works now, this will just be set like this. And now the blueprint is fucked up, but we can fix it. And so we will have... So I think now it may work, guys. IDs don't work every time. You lose one viewer this time. I lost one viewer. Okay. And I don't know what you have eating tonight. I'm eating a roll of chicken and thingies. My oven is calling me, but I want to see that. I want at least to see the number right. Before going to dinner and closing, I want to see the number. I want to see the number right. I want to see the number right. What do you mean? Combination ID? Yeah, it's called combinations. Come on, you can do it. Okay. I really don't know if this is the best way, right? But I think it works. It may work, right? I think it works. But I don't know if the best way, in the sense that another way would be to just keep, like I was saying, an ID by transformation combination and then keep it on the server. But I think it's more complex to do than what I'm doing now. At the moment, I'm basically saying, if the description says mix one egg with blah 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 on inside a bowl, right? Then we are basically storing that information on the client, also with an ID of the transformation, and then we are sending back to the server and saying, this is what I want to prepare, right? And it will put... Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's fine. I think it's fine. It's not an easy thing, but I think it may eventually work. I needed the crafting node UI. I need the crafting UI. So now the crafting node is different, right? Because it contains an array. And so I just want to print it at the moment. I don't want to do anything else. I just want to print it to see if it's correct, right? This is what I want to see. Where the hell is this thing? Setup, item clicked. So this in theory should fail compilation. Exactly. Because now combination ID doesn't exist anymore. Fantastic. So I don't think we can print an array, but let's say that we print... Okay, let's print the array. That's fine. Let's print... So we print the trans ID, and then we for each on the combination ID, okay? And we print all the thingies. So we print all the combination ID, and the combination ID will be this, okay? So we see what we get. We see what we get. Is this setup crafting panel correct already or no? I think yes. Yeah, because it's calling item clicked, then it's called. Okay, it's fine, it's fine. Okay, it's fine. We can test it. We can test it, boys. Let's go. So what we want to see this data. Whenever I click on one of the nodes, we want to see this data. We want to see whey bread 11, dogged 7, butter 2, and slop 4, 5, 6, 7. This is what we want to see. If we see this, I think we made progress. If we don't see, well, I have to fix it. But at least it's a step 1, right? In the right direction. I hope. We will have to optimize this because at the moment we are sending too much data. Every time you open a book, we are sending a lot of data. And people are going to open the books a lot. So, I mean, it's not an insane amount of data. It's not that we are sending megabytes, right? We are not sending megabytes, but we are sending maybe, I don't know, 50K? 50K every time. So it's not insane, but it's useless information because you're continuously getting the same, right? Because the book doesn't change. The book does not change, so... Okay. So if I click on the top, right, I want to see in my log 11. Okay, and that is the easy one, right? Then if I go in, this was wrong before, and now I see 7. Very good. Now we click on the butter, and we should see 2. Very good. Now we click on the slop, and we see 4, 5, 6, and 7. 4, 5, 6, and 7. Fantastic. Wait, we also got 17 and 18. Wait. $17 and $18. What? We got 2 extra. We got 2 extra? Yep, we got 2 extra. Ay. Okay, we got 2 extra. We go 1 level down. And we have, okay, now this is very complex because there is the whey bread, I mean, there is, but okay, so it's kind of working, but it's not really working. So for whatever reason, at this level, we get, at this slop level, which is combined between 1 and 2 eggs, between 2 and 5 milks, between 7 and 12 flour, between 1 and 2 ground nuts, and then whey bread ground nuts, I think this description is fucked. I think this description is fucked. Ah, because it's... Oh my god. Because you can put... I see. Because you can put different items. Can you? No, this description doesn't make any sense. 17 and 18. Anyway, I think the combine is still a bit fucked up. I have to go dinner, but I still the combine is still wrong. But this description is very strange. This description is insane. Let me see this one, for example. We get 8, 9, 10, 11. This one seems to be better. Butter, we get transaction 3. This we get transaction 8. And this we get transaction 12. I think the transactions are all okay. The combination seems to get extra data that I don't know where it's coming from. But it's not too bad, eh? It's not too bad. We are actually making some progress, boys. Okay, yes, I'm eating a chicken roll with vegetables and some potatoes and stuff. Okay, guys, so I'm going to dinner. I'm not coming back. I think I will play some video games after. But tomorrow we finish this. At least this piece, I want it to be done tomorrow. And it seems that we have some mistakes in the descriptions as well. Because there are alternatives here, and I think that these alternatives, like between 1 and 2, between 2 and 5, you know, this thing may mess up the... Yeah, and then the question would be, do we want this to be the maximum or the minimum? I don't know. Because based on the number that you put, you may have a different result, right? Oh my god. Oh my god! Okay, it's too complex. Okay. Goodbye, guys. I need to go. I need to run. I need to run because my dinner otherwise is burning. It's burning! Bye-bye! Remember to follow, to subscribe, to do all the things you need to do, okay? Bye!